Hello everybody, Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net, where I teach you to make more money, flip more houses, and kick more ass. I'm here today with a reader mail question from Chris, who is in the Chicago market. Now Chris just started learning about wholesaling about 30 days ago, about a month ago, and this last weekend he went and put out 100 I Buy Houses bandit signs. Now I got a kind of a frantic email from Chris this morning that said, Steph, I put all these signs out. I've got sellers calling me. They want me to make offers on their properties. And number one, I have no clue how much I should offer. Number two, I don't have access to the MLS to pull comps and do market research. So I thought I'd put this quick video together to not only help you out, Chris, but I know there are a lot of beginners who are in the same boat, so I thought this would be helpful to all of you as well. So before we get started, just want to congratulate you, Chris, on getting out there and taking action. Putting 100 bandit signs out your first go around is, I think that's fantastic, and I think it's great that you decided to just jump in. So hopefully this video will help you out a little bit in talking to those sellers. So what I wanted to show you today, and I sent an email out with this link to this website a couple of months ago. It's findcompsnow.com. It's a fantastic resource. It's free, doesn't cost anything to use, and I have a lot of students all over the country who don't have MLS access, and they've been using this website and they love it. So I'm just going to kind of show you an example of how I would, if I was going into an area not having any clue what's going on, not knowing any buyers, how I would kind of use this website and some other tools to get a general idea of what I should be offering. So I just picked an address here. This is in St. Petersburg. It's actually in the same neighborhood as a lead I'm working on right now that came from a direct mail campaign. I don't want to use the exact address because I don't want anyone contacting my seller, but the address here is 770 26th Avenue South. It's in St. Petersburg. So you're just going to plug the address in and then click this orange button here. I think it's supposed to say show me now, but this social media stuff is in front of it. I'm not sure why. So you just click that and it's going to bring up all of the recent comparable sales in the neighborhood. Now, what is awesome about this website is not only does it show you the recent sales, but it tells you which of those sales were cash sales. If you look here, it says over on the left, it says cash buyer sales 20. Now, as a wholesaler, this is really important information because when you have a deal that you're trying to sell, you want to be selling it to a cash buyer. You're not going to be able to wholesale to buyers who are getting conventional financing. So this website is a fantastic tool to find out what the cash sales are in the area. So if we scroll down here a little bit, it's going to list all of the cash sales, and I want it to show info on all. Now, when I'm doing research, market research, I want to, especially in the market that I'm in St. Pete, it's a really hot market. Things are changing rapidly. So when I look at recent comparable sales, I want to just go back 3 months. Now, if you're in an area where there isn't a lot of investor activity or it's just not that hot of an area, you might have to go back a little further than that, and that's okay. Just keep in mind that your best comps are going to be the comps that are most recent. So what I'm going to do, if you see all of these categories here, there's distance, price, sale date, year, square footage, bathrooms, and bedroom. You can sort by sort the results by any of these categories. So if you click on this little arrowy thing here, right after sale date, if you click on that twice, it will sort the results or the comparable sales, and it will put the most recent comparable sale at the top. So here you have a list of recent cash sales, and it has a little map too, which is handy. So this black house here is the subject property, and then you can see all of these green houses are going to be the cash investor sales. Typically, they're going to be investor sales. Typically, when you have cash sales in an area, they're going to be investors. Not always, but most of the time. So, if I didn't know anything about this area at all, just taking a quick glance at the sales prices, you've got 25.8, 15, 33, 24, 35, 27. That 42 is back in February. So looks like all of these sales, these cash investor sales, are in the mid 20s to mid 30s. So that right there just gives you kind of a general idea of what you should be offering, of where your numbers need to be. Now, this is all going to depend also on the condition that the subject property is in. You're going to want to do some research. After I pull these up, I do a little bit of research on each property. I will go into Google Street View on each one of these and just take a look at the property, take a look at the street. It kind of gives you a little better feel for what's going on in the area. Like, for example, this here, this kind of sticks out to me. It's sold for $15,000. That's about half price of what all of the other ones have sold for. So I went on Google Street View just really quickly because I wanted to see what the property looked like. It looks like a shack. It's also wood frame. Wood frame properties typically sell in Florida anyway for less than what concrete block homes do. So just quickly going to Google Street View, that kind of gave me an idea of, oh, okay, that's why this property sold for a lot less. It's wood frame. It looks like a shack. It is on a crappy street. Just looking down the street from Google Street View, it looked like a shady street. There was a duplex right across the way that looked pretty run down and one right next to it. So those are just some preliminary steps that you can take to get an idea of just ballpark where your numbers need to be. Now from here, what I do, again, these are recent cash sales in the neighborhood where the property is that I am looking at. So what I want to do is find out who bought each one of these properties, okay? Because those are going to be cash investors who are buying in the area. So what I would do, what I do from here is take each one of these addresses, just start here and then go all the way down the list, plug them into my county's property appraiser website, and that will tell me who the new owner is. Now from there, there are a number of different ways that you can contact that new owner who is a cash investor. My time is limited here on YouTube, so I can't go into all of the detail of the different ways to find these people. But a really quick way to do that is to just take, say it's a company name, say I put 660 26th Avenue South into my property appraiser website. It comes back with a company name. I just go into Google, I Google the company name, and a lot of times you can find that company's website, or you can find their contact information very easily. From there, call the investor up, say, look, I've got a property under contract on such and such a street. I see that you just bought a rental property right up the street. Are you interested in buying more? And just go down the list and do that for each one of these. That will give you, talking to the cash investors who are currently buying in that area, will give you a really good idea of where your numbers need to be. Now, another thing that I strongly suggest that you do, especially if you're just getting started, is to actually get in your car, go drive through the neighborhood and drive by each one of the comparable sales. Now, you can sit and look at comparable sales on your computer screen all day long. You can look at the street view. That helps too, but it's very powerful and very helpful to actually get out there, go into the neighborhood, and look at each of the comparable sales. It just gives you a much better feel for what's going on in the area. Also, while you're out there looking at the comps, if you see any for rent signs while you're driving around, jot the number down. That is a landlord who owns a rental property, obviously, in that area. Give them a call and see if they're looking for more rentals. If they are, find out what they're looking for, what prices they're willing to pay. Same with if you're driving around and you see a rehab going on. Get out of your car, go talk to the contractors, see if the investor is there who owns the property. If so, talk to him, see if he's looking for more deals. It's just really good practice, and it's very, very important, especially when you're just getting started, to actually get out, get your hands dirty, go out and drive through the neighborhoods. It's very, very helpful. So if you do all of these things, you do your research online, you do some research to find out who the cash buyers are, call them up, talk to them, see what they're looking for, and then go drive through the neighborhood. If you do that, and one other thing I wanted to point out, and this is especially important for people like Chris who are in large markets like Chicago, it is very, very helpful if you just focus in on one or maybe two areas within your city, areas that have a high concentration of investor activity, of cash sales. Just focus in on one or two area at a time and really just kind of laser focus on it. Spend a month or 2 months or however long it takes really getting to know that area like the back of your hand. Who are the buyers? How much are they paying for properties in that area? Go out and drive through the neighborhood once a week. After a while, you will get to know the neighborhood like the back of your hand, and you won't have to do any of this research anymore. You'll get to the point, if you do your market research, if you talk to enough buyers, you'll get to the point where a seller will call you from your farm area, and you'll just know right off the bat. You ask them a couple of questions. How many bedrooms and bathrooms, the square footage, what condition is it in? You'll know right off the bat what you need to offer for it to be a deal. Up until you get to that point, you're going to have to put some legwork in and do a lot of this research, but if you focus in on one area or maybe two at a time and just spend some time doing your due diligence and market research, this will become very easy. So I hope that helped Chris and anyone else who found themselves or finds themselves in the same situation as Chris. If you guys have any further questions or you'd like me to clarify something, feel free to leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do have the comments disabled because it's just confusing for me to go back and forth from my blog to YouTube. So if you have a question, you can post it on my blog. It's flipthiswholesaler.net. One more thing, if you guys want more information on finding cash buyers and you haven't picked up my Cash Buyer Ninja course yet, I'd strongly suggest that you do. It's only $47. It's 3.5 hours of in-depth video training where I go in and show you how to quickly and easily and for free find out who the cash buyers and the players are within your market. So that's at cashbuyerninja.com. Anyway, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on the blog, flipthiswholesaler.net. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.